Hey there, before this episode begins, just want to thank Annie for being my first repeat guest and coming on the show for the second time now. Please be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at Pastime Thinker Podcast for updates and subscribe to YouTube and Spotify. Shout out to our patron Kevin, and if you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/pastime. And now, here's the episode. Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Pastime Thinker Podcast. I'm your host, Frederick Piquette, and today my guest is Annie Manuel. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you are a returning guest. You were on episode 8, and now you're on episode 18.
I absolutely was, and I absolutely am. It's 10 episodes, man. It's been 10 whole episodes.
10 entire episodes of just podcast.
And you've hit a year since then.
I have. You were my 8th guest. Now you're my 18th guest. I'm trying to think.
It's a new year.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly when, because it's been less than a year since you've been on. Because
I think so. I think January maybe?
I think like January, April, somewhere in between.
Early this year sounds right. Yeah, I would go look, but my phone is charging on the other side of the room.
Oh wow. So yeah.
Hey man.
Couple of things has happened since then.
Just one or two. It's fine.
Just a few.
Everything's
things.
fine. Just a few. Just like one thing happened. Like Nicki Minaj had a baby. That's it.
Oh my god, I don't like Nicki Minaj.
That's the only thing that's happened, is that Nicki Minaj had a baby. I actually don't give a shit about Nicki Minaj. That's just the first thing that came to mind.
I don't know, like all public opinion aside, I just find her annoying. I find her music annoying. And I'm pretty like
I find that attitude annoying.
Yeah, like before the whole Ellen DeGeneres thing came out, like she was like a brat on the Ellen show, and that's kind of what started it for me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like
I don't know. I just like this the obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious thing I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, like you as a person.
Thank you. Maybe that's why I don't
You're
like
welcome.
Her. It's just you're too much like me.
We dislike things in other people that we can't see in ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, you're just hitting deep.
Remember 10 minutes ago when we had no idea what to talk about?
Well, now let's pick Fred's psyche apart.
Let's destroy Fred as a person.
Yeah. Please no. I'm already
it's
fragile.
But like you're fragile.
Oh,
sure.
I'm so fragile.
Sure.
Oh,
Where's Jill? Get her opinion on that.
Please no. She cut into me in the last episode too. She didn't say two fucking words, and then like right at the last leg of the episode, she just started fucking digging into me. I was like, where is this coming from?
That's why I love that woman. That's why I sent her a card.
But yeah, it's been a little bit of a ride these last few months. Got to work from home a little bit.
I didn't.
Got to watch, more recently, got to watch Trump eat his fucking words.
Cool. And then get driven around in a car with 6 Secret Service agents crammed inside in a hermetically sealed vehicle.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know how to feel. Like, after, like, did you watch the debate with him and Biden?
I absolutely didn't. I have watched the TikTok remakes.
Like,
and I feel like I get the gist of it.
Like, I feel like I have to word this very carefully not to give off the wrong vibe, but like after watching the debate, like I was unfortunately thinking that Trump may win, just because. But after watching like more breakdowns and like watching more people pick the debate itself apart, I realized like, oh no, he was using specific tactics to make it look like he was winning the debate. Whereas, like, if you look at it with, like, a very, very, very critical mind, i.e. watching a bunch of videos picking it apart, like, it's not so much the case. But...
Yeah, I don't know. I never stay too close to American politics. It stresses me out because there's literally nothing I can do. Like, I can tell my American friends to vote, but, like, that's not anything new to them. Like, they know that they're supposed to vote. And voting can only really do so much, right? So I try not to stay too close to American politics.
I mean, I can't help but look at it. It's a weird, like, I'm definitely more into, like, in touch with American politics than Canadian politics. I know that's the case with a lot of Canadians in general. It's just more entertaining.
Well, it's more entertaining, and, like, it makes a level of sense to be up on American politics because of how close they are and how much business we do with them and, like, how much it could affect us.
Oh,
like,
exactly.
Like, if the country goes into a civil war, that, we can very easily get dragged into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Canadian politics is, a lot of people find it more boring because Canadian politics, they almost like have to be nicer about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
can't go on stage and cut somebody off and say, "Shut up, man." Like, you can't do that in Canadian politics. If you do that, then you lose the Canadian vote.
Yeah, but also
I
the
don't
way
know.
our political systems work make it a little less interesting because on the American side, it is one or the other.
Yeah.
Whereas in Canadian politics, there's like a wider ish range of like, oh, well, there's this and there's that and there's that. And like the interesting part of Canadian politics is just like, I really wonder who's gonna get this because there's multiple parties. But in the American, it's like, yo, it's just one extreme versus the other, and like,
Well, Canada has that to an extent though, because NDP, the biggest and the best NDP has gotten is opposition, and that's when they had Jack Layton. They had majority opposition, and that's when they had Jack Layton. And since Jack Layton died, especially with what's going on with Jagmeet
yeah,
Singh right now, like the old tweets that are coming up from Jagmeet Singh, where he's like R.I.P. Fidel Castro, like he was a good man.
yeah,
Uh, like it really in Canadian politics, like if we want to talk about it in like acting terms and movie terms, there are like the leading characters, the two leading characters, the secondary character, and two tertiary characters. Our two mains are the Liberals and the Conservatives. The
hmm,
secondary character is the NDP, and the tertiary is the Green and the Bloc.
yeah,
Like there are definitely more players in general. There's more opportunity in general, but like the way that voting goes every single year and the way that it's been and the way that it's always been,
yeah.
um, you know,
Well, again, I think the difference is like in the American politics, it is just two really really strong forces opposing each
yeah,
other, and again, they both have their extremes. Like that. That's one thing that I will be very solid on in terms of my political point of view is just like, yeah, there's over some issues, one political party is definitely better than the other, and there's multiple different issues that they both address differently. There's
yeah,
there's really really good people on both sides, and there's very very extreme people on both sides, regardless of where you fall in line on that. But I feel like with
yeah,
Canadian politics, you have two strong opposing forces, but there's always like the at least the attendance of like a potential underdog, where
yeah.
there's
Well, and
just
that's just
not
it. Like,
that in American politics.
yeah, well, and I feel like especially with the last federal election in Canada, there was that like Jaws theme of maybe Jagmeet Singh will do something, maybe we'll
Oh
get
yeah,
close.
I was
There was
very.
definitely that.
It was the most invested in a Canadian election that I was ever in. Like,
Yeah.
and that was only the second time I ever got to vote, but it was definitely much much more invested in it than the first time I voted.
Yeah. Well, and part of that comes with age too, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not just whatever it is, but yeah, I don't know, like it's weird because it's what a lot of people are saying too, right? It's true of both the Canadian and the American government is that it's a system that was created years and years and years and hundreds or however many years ago
Yeah.
to benefit a specific area of people, and that's still how it operates today, right? And I think you can say that of both Canadian and American
Oh, for
politics.
sure, for sure. It's still the same system. We just tweaked a couple things, or not even tweaked. We just have a couple of alternative things. They're still
We just kind of
probably
raised our hands and said sorry,
yeah.
and
They're
then
like even though they're different, I would say that they're both still equally damaging and equally good. They're just
yeah,
different. They're just different.
yeah, it's yeah. One thing that I thought was really interesting um when I was still a server, I was working with a guy and he was studying to do law,
Okay.
and um he was telling me about the difference between doing like arguing cases in the States versus arguing cases in Canada, and just the very subtle differences, like you don't say, if you're um the defense attorney, you don't say prosecution, and if you're prosecution, you don't say defense attorney, you say my friend.
Yeah.
And you refer to the opposing attorney as my friend.
Which kind of just sounds passive
Um
aggressive, as my friend here was telling you.
it super does, but at the same time, I think they want to introduce that gentle Canadian language, right? Like
Yeah.
They want that everybody play nice kind of vibe
Well, it's
that
definitely a
Canada is so well
stereotype
known
that would
for.
be useful to lean into. That all Canadians are nice and all Canadians are like it's definitely not true. Like there's
Yeah.
some shitty Canadians. Like that, it's just human nature. But like as a country, that's probably definitely a stereotype that would be nice to lean into, even though it's not entirely
Hmm.
true.
Well, and like that's our reputation, right? Like that's Canada's reputation around the world. Americans traveling abroad are recommended to put Canadian patches on their backpacks
Oh,
so
for
people don't
sure.
think that they're American.
Like
Like it benefits us.
oh yeah, for sure. Like years ago, like when I took my school trip to Europe, like I've never felt more happy to be a Canadian than when I'm outside Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people love Canadians.
Yeah.
They've just never lived here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just interesting. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, is that a form of like racism in a way? Oh, you're Canadian, you must be nice.
No, not at all. It's a
Yeah.
stereotype for sure. I
Yeah.
think racism there's an inherent violence in
Yeah.
racism. Like calling somebody racist, there has to be a level of violence in their words or in their actions.
A level of aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Like if it
An intent to hurt, an intent to harm.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, saying that Canadians are nice, that's just a stereotype. It's the same, yeah, it's the same thing as, Canadians riding moose everywhere. Like
Uh
it doesn't hurt anybody. It's a stereotype.
I do need to renew my moose license.
Are you proud of yourself?
Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
You proud of yourself for that joke? You know
Oh,
your entire listener base is Canadian, right?
oh no, actually, we got a couple of people in Europe and a few people in the States actually listen to the podcast. Says
Oh.
my analytics at least.
Well, Canada's gonna cancel you
Canada's gonna cancel me.
for that moose joke. Canada, cancel this man.
I can I'll wait for the Mounties to roll up in my driveway on their moose.
Driveway? You mean the ground outside your igloo?
Yeah, yes, for sure.
You wasted an opportunity, man.
Yeah, I suppose
Your
the
guard beaver.
my guard beaver. Yo, beavers are aggressive though. If you're not if for people who don't have experience with beavers, they are very angry animals. They will kill your dog.
That put that on a t-shirt. Beavers will kill your dog.
Oh, for sure. Like back when whenever I go to camp and stuff like that, if we know the beaver's out, we have to keep our dogs in the cottage because dogs are idiots. They'll be like, "Are you a friend?" or they'll try to attack the beaver because dogs go one of two ways. And no,
Oh my God.
beavers will fuck up your dogs.
I went hiking yesterday, near like just an hour away from here, an hour and a bit away from here. We went hiking.
Mm-hmm.
And we went up, and so I'm sure you've seen the picture that I posted. We were up. It's at this place
Oh
called
yes,
Eagle's Nest,
yeah.
and
The very artistic
oh
photo that you
yeah,
took
oh
with the little
there's
lyric
more.
at the bottom.
Oh, there's more that I haven't posted yet. They're coming. Don't you worry. My Instagram is gonna have content, but
I'm ready for a lot of sepia filter.
who the fuck is sepia? First of all,
Sepia,
but anyway,
sepia, tomato, tomato.
we were up there, and like from that picture, you can see how far the drop is. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a cliff overlooking like a legitimate, literal valley.
Nice.
And there were people up there with their dogs off leash and their kids running around pushing each other.
That would give me
And I'm
instant
like,
anxiety.
I had anxiety. Like I was looking around and I swear to God, one of these dogs was gonna knock me over the cliff, and that was it. I mean, like if that's the way I go, like I die, I die. Mother Nature, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to go that way, I'd rather not. I would rather you keep your dog on the leash while we're near the cliff's edge. Like I get hiking with your dog off leash. That makes sense. Coming up the trail, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, I would still have anxiety, but for the completely opposite reason. Like when it comes to fight or flight, I have a very strong like fight reaction. So like if I see loose dogs and children running around, I'm gonna be like,
you're gonna fight them?
No, like I'd be like, I would be like
I'm just
hyper aware.
picturing you chasing a little like a 3-year-old with a knife. Like, come here, fucker.
Get the fuck over here, Timmy. No, but like, it's just I know that if something happens to the dog or the kid, for some reason I'm gonna want to jump in and help, and I'm getting anxiety because I don't fucking want to. Like that's not my fucking kid. Like you should have known better than to let your kid run around here. But I know if something happens to him, like I'm gonna want to jump in and help, and I'm getting anxiety because I don't want to, but I know I will, and like I don't want the kid to get hurt, and like that's where my anxiety would have come from in that situation.
Yeah. The guy I went hiking with, it was funny. So the guy that I went hiking with, he took the picture of me, and I was
Hmm.
standing like, for the most part, when we were up there, I was standing like a foot away from the cliff's edge because it was fucking cool. Like you look
Oh, for
down and it
sure.
looked like a green screen. Like my brain couldn't process that that was like an actual valley
That it was
below me. Like it
real.
felt like I was looking at a green screen. Yeah. Um, and he wouldn't come within like 6 feet of the edge, and I kept trying to make him come to the edge, and he was like, no, 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 no. So I was like, all right, fine. Um, but he was convinced that I was gonna fall and die.
He was convinced, but he didn't stop you. But
But he didn't stop me. Okay, you've tried to stop me doing things. Do I listen to people?
Oh, fuck no.
When do I let you stop me doing things? Never. I take my shoes off and I run away.
Well, there's a drunk to sober Annie version of that story. Like, drunk Annie cannot be reasoned with, but
No,
sober Annie
not in the
can.
slightest.
So like, when you're sober, you can be stopped to do things as long as someone can logically talk you out of it. But when you're drunk, there's no hope. It's just a follow.
Yeah, it's got to be a pretty powerful argument though. Like if I'm intent on doing something, it's got to be a pretty powerful argument because I don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, interestingly enough, so I had this conversation with Maddie,
Okay.
um, when we were still living together in Toronto, and she said that I have conversations when I want to have them with who I want to have the conversation that I want to have. For example, I have in her, like the way she described it is I have people that I will go to when I don't want to do something because I know that they'll talk me out of it. And then I have people that I go to that will always say yes, 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 yes because I know that they're just going to agree with me. So either way, what I want is what I get. Like what I want out of the conversation, whether I want to be talked out of something or
Yeah.
whether I want to be like solidified in doing something, I get that because of the people that I go to specifically to talk to. And that fucked me up for a while
It's difficult
when
having
she told
self realizations like that.
when she told me that. Yeah.
I've had a couple of like the number one thing that like I've realized lately that like I'm still kind of struggling with is I FOMO gets to me much harder than I like to think it does.
Yeah.
Like that would be my
Well, you're an
number one.
extrovert. That's you though,
Yeah, I don't know. Like
right?
I can be extroverted, but most of the time I feel like an introvert.
Yeah, well, I mean, extroverts need their alone time,
Recharge time.
100%. Yeah, extroverts 100% need their alone time. But for the majority of it, they not prefer, but they do well. They do better in a group conversation, in a group setting when talking to people.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know if it comes from like a bratty side of me or if it is just like the FOMO fucking me up hard. For people who don't know, FOMO is
Mhm.
just the fear of missing out. But like
Mhm.
this is gonna be a little personal. I don't know how you're gonna take this, but like in our group chat, like whenever
Mm.
there's like something going on that involves everyone hanging out and I'm not there, I'll just mute the group chat. I just don't want to see it. And then after I've like
When has
calm,
that ever happened?
uh, roughly,
You're always there.
no, like after I moved away, or even like the few times where like I was busy at work or busy with school, like on the off period that you guys were off and stuff like that.
Busy with school like you did homework.
I did do homework for one class.
I'm sure you did.
I did the only
You
homework
said
I ever did was for Philly. That was it.
I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna send this podcast to Mark.
Yo, I should have Mark on.
Oh, best of luck with that. He's just gonna rip you apart the whole time.
I know. I know. But yeah, no, like I think genuinely the only thing I ever did homework for was character. Like I only ever did my character study homework. I really did. Everything else was like off the top of my head.
I don't know. I liked doing the homework. I liked doing the script work. I liked doing rehearsals.
I didn't care much about script
Well, I
work.
guess it depended on who it was with.
Yeah, like the at least in my head, the only thing that like I prioritized was character study. I'm like I need to know this
Mm.
character because if I know this character, then I can improv. But if I don't know this character, then I can't fly off the seat of my pants. So that's why I always prioritize character research over everything else.
I think for me, it depended on the scene. I felt like there were some characters that if I knew them too well, then I wouldn't be able to do it. But then there
Oh,
were other characters that I really needed to know.
well, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about like from monologues. Like if I was like in a group, then I would do my part. Like I would do my homework. I wouldn't like leave people high and
Yeah.
dry. But yeah, no, if it's solo stuff, I would do character study, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Like the like some of like the really heavy like at the beginning in like term one, term two when we were learning character
we
stuff.
were always crying.
Yeah, but I got fucked over in term one. I got fucked over like 19 times out of 20. I got fucked over.
Yeah, you always got paired with the person that we were all cringing. Like, hope I don't get.
Oh, not cringing. No, I was waiting to get hate crimed.
Like, I'm
Like
not
I was
gonna.
gonna get my ass kicked. It was gonna happen.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of times where like, I hope I don't get so and so. Oh no, never mind. Annie got so and so, and I'm like, oh fuck, Annie got so and
Wait a
so.
minute.
What?
Yeah.
Hello?
No, like there were like I said, hi.
Hi.
You okay? You having a good time?
Yeah, you said wait a minute, and then you went completely silent.
Yeah, because I blue screened.
Oh.
Um, um, like I said though, it depends on. It really depended on the person, like the person that I was working with, because there were some people that I really didn't have to rehearse with, and we could just do it. Like it was great. Like
Yeah.
Ryan, for instance, I found it really easy to work with Ryan when we did our Lost scene. I found that super easy. It was great. We didn't really rehearse that much, um, but it was fun. There were other people though, and like obviously for no personal reason, like Aaron, for instance, I rehearsed a lot with Aaron, and that was because that just worked better for us. Like that
Yeah.
bouncing off of each other and playing that way worked better for us. Whereas with Ryan, it was like in the moment, in the scene, we kind of figured it out.
Yeah. I don't. You and
So
I never really. You and I didn't get anything together, did we?
we never worked together once. No, not that I
No.
can think of anyway. Maybe for like one of those like warm up things,
Oh, probably.
but never for an actual assignment. No, I got Ryan a couple of times. I got Aaron. I got who else did I get? I got Simon.
I got paired with Maddie like 10 fucking times in a single term.
Yeah.
Like that, like I got her, like it was every time, and it was spread across like 6 different professors. So unless they're coordinating this, it was just a coincidence.
Well, there was only one prof that we knew paired people for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was rude.
Oh, for sure.
uh,
But yeah, I know I did my.
yeah, no, I didn't get like repeat people that much.
I got a lot of repeat people. I only worked like throughout all 4 terms. I like maybe worked with like the same 6 people, just in a cycle though. Like I didn't work with a lot of different people. I kept getting paired with the
I
same
worked,
people.
yeah, I did like here, there, and everywhere. I worked with everybody. Although I didn't get a lot of scenes with girls that I can remember.
Oh well.
The only scene I can remember doing with a girl was the Riverdale thing with Jenna.
Yeah.
Because I never worked with Dila. I never worked with, well, Dila we did fight, but that was fight. Um, I guess I did Kate in term one, but
Out
that
of
again,
context, the way you're wording all of this.
what?
Nothing. Go on. Oh, okay. Are you just gonna give me the silent treatment?
Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, I got paired mostly with dudes, like for scenes.
Oh, I would say like even though I got paired with the same people multiple times, it was still like a healthy mix of guys and girls. Like
Yeah,
it was just the same people. That was essentially it. I just kept getting paired with the same people.
yeah. Which I mean, same people, different context is something too, right? Like
Oh,
if
for
as long as you're
sure.
not both, it's the same person playing the same characters over and over.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, how are things going for you? Just
Mm.
outside of school, outside of work, like change the subject up a little bit. Every time I talk to someone from the old program, we end up talking about the program a little bit, and I feel like
Because it's what we all have in common.
yeah, for sure. But like, well, you and I were roommates.
And they were roommates. Yeah, we were for a
Oh
year,
my god, they were roommates.
along with Simon and Ryan, and
Yep.
then I lived with Maddie and Simon.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like we were pretty close. Like as a group, I mean, like we were all pretty close outside
yeah,
of school, which was like probably the best part of like the college experience is like the program itself was fun, but like the friends you make and like hang out with outside of the program was like probably one of the highlights of college for me.
Like, I know that you said every time you have somebody from the program on, you talk about the program, but in my everyday life, my everyday conversations, I talk about the program all the goddamn time. Like,
Oh, really?
um, yeah, like my absolute best friend at work right now, he knows all of you. He knows all of you by name. He knows which story belongs with who. He knows all of you. Like, I went hiking with him. He's the one I went hiking with. And he took the pictures of me, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of good at photography." And I was like, "Yeah, you are." And he goes, "Don't tell Attilio because Attilio's probably gonna like rip my pictures apart."
Wow, does
And
he
then I was
have
like,
like
"Did you just say don't tell Attilio as if like you're friends with
as
my
if
friends?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Oh my god. Does he have like faces to match with their names?
He's seen some pictures, mainly just ones that you wouldn't want other people seeing.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Um, so
Dang. I just want to be like, "Yo, what up? I'm Drake." And then just see him try to like fit the like my face in the stories you've told him.
about Drake,
Yeah.
most of my Drake stories have to do with Maddie though,
Fair.
and he knows what Maddie looks like for sure because he's seen pictures of Maddie before.
Oh yeah, cuz you two are obsessed with each other.
We're in love, Frederick.
I know.
Don't be jealous.
We're in agreement. Why are you getting defensive?
Of how we're saying this as she just celebrated their 3rd anniversary.
She'll eventually come to her
It's
senses
fine.
and come running to you. It's okay.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just waiting. I'm building a life for us. I'm
I'm
getting our
building a
life
life.
ready, our marital bed. I'm preparing us a life outside of Ottawa in the valley with a
I
farm.
I have a separate
Maddie,
savings
please.
account, separate savings account
Just
marked
for her.
when Maddie snaps back to reality. It's
When
completely
Maddie
locked.
comes around.
She's a co-signer on it too, so like we both have to sign off on it to have access to it. But I'm putting money in there for when she finally knows.
She doesn't know she's a co-signer though.
She doesn't know she's a co-signer.
No, she thought she was signing for a package, but it was me in disguise,
Just with
getting her to
fake
sign the joint
mustache
bank
and
account
big
form.
glasses.
100%. Wearing a USPS uniform because we have the USPS up here.
The USPS?
Yeah, United States Postal Service.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
USPS.
right. Uspus?
There's UPS and then there's USPS. Have you never watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine with the episode with Ed Helms?
No. Wait, I've seen all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I didn't know Ed Helms has like made an appearance.
Yeah, he worked for USPS. He was Agent Jack Donger.
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to rewatch. Like, I loved Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I did watch the whole thing to entirety, but I don't
I've
know.
seen it a couple of times. Yeah, it's one of my go-to shows.
Really?
Yeah, that BoJack, Family Guy, and Archer are like
Ooh,
my go-to like rewatch shows.
I really, really, really enjoy BoJack Horseman, but it would not be something that I have on all the time because it's just so fucking depressing. I
Oh
s-
no, I just do seasons 1 through 4.
oh, okay. Before the what is it? Before
Yeah,
he goes to rehab.
before it gets bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also still haven't finished BoJack. The last
Oh,
episode, you
really?
can ask Attilio. This was a whole thing for me. The last episode of the last season of BoJack, I got halfway through and I could not finish it.
Really? It's
Yeah,
so good.
I know, no, I know, and that's why I couldn't finish it, and I still haven't been able to finish it because like I don't want to watch it alone because like
I'll cry.
not even that. I was already crying, but like I don't think I'm gonna be okay because like so believe it or not, lines from that episode are big on TikTok right now. Like it's
Oh,
part of a trend. Like people have been like people have used it for dumb shit, but a lot of people are using it for like really serious shit. Like when he says, "Is it scary?" and he says, "No, whatever." Like a lot of people are using that to talk about their relationships and stuff.
oh,
And so I have an idea of the tone of the end of the episode, and it's just like it's hard enough to watch an episode, to watch the end of a show that you have grown so you've spent so much time getting
yeah,
to know the characters, and especially the main character who is somebody that like you don't know, but you can relate to on
yeah.
such a fucking horrific level
Like
because of the writing.
I was super late on the BoJack hype train. Like
Oh, same.
when I started watching it, the second last season just came out. So the only thing I ever had to wait for was the last season.
Right.
And no, I once I started watching it, I couldn't stop watching it. But I would never just
Yeah.
have that on all the time. It would depress me. It would, yeah. I would. Like it's so good.
No, like the episodes that I have on are like the episode where like when Todd has his clown dentistry and it goes bad and then he puts them out in the forest and they turn into rabid zombies. Like
Yeah.
that's the shit that I have on. I don't have on the episode of like his dad's funeral
Yeah.
or whatever.
I think it was his
Or his
mom's
mom's
funeral.
funeral rather. Yeah, his
Yeah.
mom's funeral where he just monologues.
Yeah. I mean, like the shows that I do have on repeat is like Family Guy, Archer, and like a handful of
Mhm.
animes.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah, Archer's a good one. Although I really hated the last couple of seasons. I don't know what it is. Like the Dreamland, Danger Island, and the other one.
the space
No,
one.
yeah, 99.
Hmm.
Couldn't get into it. Didn't care
I
at
liked
all.
Dreamland. Dreamland was the only Coma Dream one that I really enjoyed. I
Mm.
I liked Dreamland. The other two I watched just to like, come on, give me something, come on.
Yeah.
But like, I
Give me
have
Archer jokes.
yeah, have you watched all of them though?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that like at least at the end of the most recent season, he's woken up. So I'm excited for the next
Yeah,
season
for
to come
sure.
out.
Well, I follow the show on Twitter, and they've been posting some like obviously trailers and screenshot like
Oh, I have not
clips and
seen
stuff,
any of
right?
that.
Yeah, Archer has a cane.
You would.
And Cyril is jacked. Yeah, if you follow Archer FX on Twitter, they've been posting a lot of promo material for the new season.
That's good.
So, yeah, no, it looks good. Like the new season, like the newer season that's coming out looks great. Um,
Well,
the
I'm
newest season of Family Guy on Netflix is trash. I'll
yeah,
say that
it
right
was a
now.
little underwhelming. Like,
I'm in love with Seth MacFarlane. He can get it, but that last season was lazy garbage.
you think it was lazy? What did you, I just didn't
Yeah,
find it funny.
exactly
Or
because it was lazy.
well, it was funny. It's just not as funny.
It's like the storylines didn't do anything. They didn't mean anything. There was no point to them. It feels like I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which if you want to be a show like that and you want to go for that many seasons, you have to Simpsons it. You have to like you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep people interested.
Yeah. I mean, South Park finally came out with their fucking pandemic episode.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I know that they posted it and made a huge thing, and apparently a lot of people don't like it. Apparently it's not funny. Apparently it's not like
Well, it's
South
South
Park
Park. They're not
material.
they're not yeah, they're not trying to be funny.
They're trying to
Or
be
they are trying to
witty.
be funny.
They're
They're
trying to
trying to
be
be
witty.
funny to themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to be their funny.
I,
They don't
I
care about being your funny.
yeah, I find South Park like a more like dark slash witty kind of humor, and like
You think that a show with a character called what's
yeah,
his name, Mr. Poopy Butthole?
yeah,
Nope, that's from Rick and Morty. There's a character that's literally a shit in a
yeah,
toilet.
Mr. Hanky,
Mr. Hanky, there you
the
go.
Christmas poop. Yeah, no, I
You
just
think that
find
that's a witty show?
oh yeah, for sure. I think it's a well written show. I genuinely do.
Yikes.
Yikes! Oh. I'm just saying it's a
Yeah.
show I enjoy.
No, you called it witty.
Yeah, I
You
find
didn't
it
just say
pretty.
I enjoy it.
I find it very witty in a dark humor
I
sense.
like I enjoy Family Guy. I'm not going to sit here and call it witty
I don't think Family Guy's
because it's
witty.
not.
Family Guy's like
It's not.
slaps. Family Guy's like slapstick humor.
So is South Park.
Eh, to different degrees though. They double like they have the same characteristics, but they both just double down on different things.
But all in all, South Park isn't there to make a point to send a
No,
message
absolutely
to
not.
push
They're
anything.
there to mock. They South Park likes to mock a lot of
But you
things.
can't even yeah, but you can't even call it social commentary because like look at the South Park movie for instance. The South Park movie, I will again complete transparency. The South Park movie is the only thing of South Park that I have seen all the way through. I've seen clips of
Oh
South
my
Park
god.
episodes. I haven't seen an episode the whole way through. I've seen the movie the whole way through.
Okay.
And Saddam Hussein being in a gay relationship with Satan,
Yeah.
hilarious. I
Yeah.
love it.
So
Makes no point. No social commentary there whatsoever. Opportunity for social commentary, no social commentary whatsoever.
I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to share like a lighthearted opinion. I don't really looking to get into a debate about it, especially since it's been a pretty long time since I've watched South Park last. So I'm coming into this with like no ammunition for this argument whatsoever.
Oh, same.
I'm just
Again,
like,
I've only seen the movie.
yeah, like I just from memories, I just remember like oh, like that's fucking crude as hell, but like that's kind of witty. Like
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
that I've ever seen a South Park clip that I thought was witty.
Oh my god. I'm not
See, but
talking
that's
about
why I like BoJack because it
yeah.
is.
No, BoJack is intelligent. Like that is a borderline almost like I don't even know if I would classify like BoJack like as like a comedy show because it's just
It's a dark
so
comedy. It's
yeah
100% a dark comedy.
yeah it's just a little too fucking real even though it's about an anamorphic fucking horse.
But then you also look at the types of episodes that BoJack has done, and the types of things that it's done, right? Like the monologue episode at his mom's funeral,
Yeah,
or the 90% silent episode in BoJack's Underwater, but they still deliver a full storyline
yeah,
with almost zero dialogue. Like BoJack, the TV show has done things, and I don't. And again, it comes across as the sort of thing where if you were to walk up to Will Arnett or anybody that's written on the show
hmm
and say, "Hey, I think BoJack has done something," I feel like you would get a very BoJack answer of like, "No, we haven't."
yeah. I mean, this is probably a really good spot right now just to take a small ad break, but
Yep.
we will continue this conversation in a moment. This episode is sponsored by Brotherhood MFG. Brotherhood MFG is a clothing brand centered around car culture with a fresh style. Brotherhood MFG has even given me a special discount code to give to you guys. So if you go to teespring.com/stores/brotherhoodmfg and use discount code PASTIME in all caps, you'll get 13% off the entire store. All right, and we're back from a very short break, I'll call
Sure.
it. No,
Sure.
we took a pretty long break.
With
Oh,
a lot of content that would have been usable if you were recording.
but it was controversial.
Not all of it,
Not all of it, no.
just that last bit.
Just that last bit. But yeah, we were talking about effects of like different television shows and stuff like that before we went on the break. BoJack being a big one. Had a small debate about South Park versus Family Guy.
Yeah, because South Park isn't witty.
Yeah,
But no,
okay.
the point that I wanted to make about BoJack, about the last episode of BoJack, is that it's one thing to watch a TV show and then get to the end of the series and watch a character die or something,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But when it's a character that is literally written to make you cognizant of parts of yourself that people try to ignore because it makes them feel like a bad person, but it's all just part of the human experience. And you
Mm-hmm.
see this person getting along with his human experience, even though he's a horse, to
Even though he's
watch
a horse.
him die. To watch him die. Like to watch somebody that you've had to like
Yeah.
see. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to
I
me.
have a very different experience with like television show like when I watch television, like TV shows in particular, like most of the time I'm just looking for comedy. I'm just looking for something casual. Like whenever I want to feel
Hmm.
like moved or like touched or anything like that, that's when I go to films. Like I have like a long list of like movies that I just feel everybody should watch. That I think that like there's like movies that have changed me. There's movies that have changed my way of thinking that have made me like feel stuff. And I don't know if it's just because it's hard to do that in a television show sense or if I'm just not looking for it. But
I
I
think with TV, it's different because it's half hour to an hour segments
yeah.
every so often. Whereas with movies, you're sitting typically, I mean, again, everybody's different, but like the way I watch movies, like lights are off, I'm not looking at my phone, I'm watching the movie, and you
Exactly.
are trapped, I guess, trapped is a word, in that space with those characters for that 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So
Like two movies that like stick the fuck out to me is Boy in Striped Pajamas and
hmm
Imitation Game. And they both just so happen to take place during World War II, but that's just coincidental. Um uh
it was
they're
also a big turning point for
yeah.
society as a whole.
Well that and I'll also say Whiplash. I really, really like Whiplash.
Oh, I love Whiplash. I also love that one with sarcasm. when old men walk up to me and see Whiplash on one of my name tags at work, and they're like, "Did you actually like Whiplash?" Or like,
Yeah.
"Did you watch it with your boyfriend?" Or like, "Did your dad watch it with you?" And like,
Oh my
that's why.
god.
And then I get to look at them and I get to say, "Sir, that attitude is not my fucking tempo."
Yeah, we both worked at the same place for a little bit. When I transferred to a different location, I got to put like my favorite movie on my name tag, and I also said
Mm,
Whiplash. And like as they were
mm.
like putting it on the name tag for me, they're like, "Oh, and what favorite movie do you want to put on?" I'm like, "Whiplash." And he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Really? Like Whiplash?" I'm like,
Yeah,
why do people fucking hate on this movie? It's a good movie. Like you don't have
because
to know a thing about drums or like music or anything like that and still enjoy the shit out of that show.
yeah, because the end of it is not the end that anybody wants. Everybody wants the coming of age movie ending where he says fuck you to J.K. Simmons and he goes off and he does his own thing because he doesn't need J.K. Simmons and he grew up and whatever. But instead, he does what people think is like petty or
Yeah.
it's
He does the
going back
selfish thing.
to
He
it
does a
or whatever.
selfish thing at the
Yeah.
end.
He says, "No, I'm gonna prove myself."
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's exactly the ending that movie should have had
Oh
because
yeah.
in that movie you're not supposed to watch that movie hoping that Miles Teller grows up and has the coming of age ending. You're not supposed to hope that. You're
Yeah.
supposed to hope that he gets what he fucking wants.
Yeah. And like I know like I think a lot of people like just wish that movie was like 30 seconds longer just to know what happens. Like
Nah.
like
Nah.
like it just leaves you with a I think he smiled. And like that's it.
Nah, it's J.K. Simmons. He didn't smile.
He just wanted pictures of Spider-Man.
J.K. Simmons was another good episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
Oh, he's
I
just
just love J.K. Simmons in general.
well. Okay, I will say that television shows that did really affect me was Breaking Bad and Waco.
Mm. I did not watch either of those.
Really. I don't
Yeah.
think Breaking Bad's on Netflix anymore. It might be, but definitely watch Waco. That is something that I had no idea happened in the United
You know
States.
what? You know what you need to
Oh,
watch?
what do I need to watch?
Shameless.
Oh, I watched Shameless. I'm obsessed with Shameless.
All of it?
All of it. Well,
All 9 seasons?
whatever's on Netflix is what I've watched.
All 9 seasons.
If it's on Netflix, I've watched it. I've watched every episode of
Okay.
Shameless that is on Netflix.
That is a TV show that affected me as a person.
Yeah, I just found it entertaining. It didn't really affect me much for the most part. Like, of course, there was a couple things like I really, really love Lip's story arc, but
I think it's because you think you're lip.
no, I just enjoyed
Every,
it. I just found it the most
everybody
interesting.
everybody finds in every TV show everybody has a character that they think, "Huh, that's me," or like that's ideal me. I think lip is your ideal you.
No, I do think I am one of the characters, but it is not Lip. I just found
Who,
Phillips
who do you think you are then?
I forget the oldest sister.
Fiona?
Fiona. That's who I relate to the most, but I found Philip's story more interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So fuck your point.
Huh. Well, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah. No, I just found like
Because I think
I was just so like
knowing you as a person, I know you,
okay.
and I know that you identify yourself some way with lip.
Mm. Not to the extent of what he goes through in the show though. I didn't go through anything that he went through in the show.
No, 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 no. I mean him as a person, as a personality.
Possibly. I don't know. Like again, like I always thought that I identified more with Fiona. However, like I always made sure to pay attention to Philip's storyline.
Also, to be fair, lip they gave him the best writing.
They really did. Like not gonna lie, not to bring it back to school or anything, but like they're like especially in the newer season, I'm like, well, fuck. If this season was out like when I was in college,
Right?
I would have done that scene for sure.
If I had seen this, oh my god. The first time that Fiona cusses out Frank and Monica together,
Oh yeah.
I would have done that. I would have done that so quick.
There is so many Philip monologues that I wish I could have done in college, but I didn't even like really start watching Shameless till I was almost out of college.
I didn't start watching it until a few months ago. My friend told me to watch it.
Oh really?
What
So
am I like?
you're like brand new to it.
Yeah, like I just finished it. I didn't start watching it until like February or March.
Yeah, no, like I really love Philip's fucking. They put a lot of their effort into Philip's writing.
He got so much. He got a lot, and for some reason Debbie gets a lot, but I don't care about Debbie
Yeah, I don't really care for
as
any of
much.
the younger siblings. Like the two oldest brothers and Fiona is who I like the most.
You don't like Carl, really?
He had like an interesting story arc in like the middle of the show, but the beginning and ending, I didn't really care for that much. He went through like one really interesting character arc, and
The show's not over, eh?
I know, but from what I've seen so far,
Right.
like I think I don't know if it's the last season that's coming out or if they're just still continuing it, but from what is available, like there was a
They're filming
really
right now.
yeah, like there was yeah, I've seen some posts on Instagram from the I follow them like pretty much the entire cast on Instagram.
I follow Kevin and Mickey. And that's it.
Really? Oh,
Mickey is my favorite character on that show and has been since the beginning and will always be.
yeah, no, I'm yeah, they're doing a lot
Mickey
of
is oh,
no, he doesn't have a lot of like per se scenes, but he is a crucial fucking character. Like he is very interesting. Like I know he isn't around for like a portion of the show when he's in prison.
yeah, but Mickey to me is, and controversial, Mickey is the best kind of person.
Really?
He is, yeah, he is exactly himself, has always been himself, will always be himself, always does what he wants, says what he means, will not lie to you, will not bullshit you, will not whatever. He'll scam you, but he won't lie to you. He won't bullshit you. He won't nothing.
Yeah.
You never have to guess what he's thinking. That's what
Yeah.
I mean to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know,
And
that's
I love that.
yeah, so I do take it back. There are a couple of television shows that I feel are effective to watch, but they're not like mainstream for the most. Nah, I can't even say that because Shameless is pretty popular.
It's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, and so is
It's also
Breaking
a
Bad.
remake.
Yeah, from a British version. I watched the first episode of
Hmm.
the British version and I couldn't get into it.
Apparently, it's shot for shot. What do you mean you couldn't get into it?
I don't know. I just not the faces I'm used to, not the voices I'm used to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, I think the whole first season is like shot for shot.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's yeah,
I will say that that show made me hate William H. Macy, which is a credit to
which is
him.
super difficult because he never plays that kind of character.
Wasn't he that kind of character in Fargo?
I'm pretty sure he's usually like the protagonist in most of the shit he's in. Like that's like the darkest character he's ever played as far as I know.
I really haven't seen a lot of his stuff, to be honest.
Mm. But he plays it
But
so well.
he does. So there's one specific part. It's in one of the first few episodes in the first season where Lip is following him and bothering him. Like Lip's on a bike and he's following Frank and bothering him.
Hmm.
And Frank goes into one of his Frank rants about the government and women and whatever and
Yeah.
justice. And he keeps his rant going even after Lip has like long gone, and then Frank turns onto a main road and he's walking down the street having this rant to himself. And I have absolutely seen that guy in downtown anywhere.
Right?
Downtown Toronto, downtown I have absolutely
Oh
seen
yeah.
that guy.
Downtown Toronto, you'll meet like five of those guys.
I promise you, everybody in their life has met Frank Gallagher.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I'm just trying to think now because now I feel like I'm wrong. Like I feel like there's better television shows out there that like mean
Affect people.
something. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what I've watched. I
I
mean,
really got into Dexter, but I really didn't care for the last season.
I feel like that
Well,
happens a lot.
yeah, like the show was really good, and then you can tell like again, I say this to everybody who asks me my opinion on Dexter with the last season. It just kind of felt like, the writers came in to write another season. You know, they're thinking of all these ideas, and then someone just comes into the board and like the meeting and just goes like, "By the way, this is the last season," and they just go, "What? Fuck, we gotta cram."
I think a lot of people felt that way about Game of Thrones too.
Oh yeah, I never got into Game of Thrones. I saw like the first 3 seasons, 3.5 ish seasons. Uh, Forgot to keep watching essentially.
Yeah. I watched the first 5 seasons, and I watched them when I moved to Toronto, and I watched them with somebody else. So it was, and we binged it. So
Mm.
like there was a lot going on in my life, and there was distraction, and we binged it. So I watched the first 5 seasons. I know all the main stuff that happens. I just can't remember in what order what happens. And if you were to
Yeah,
ask me like about specifics, I would not be able to tell you.
yeah. Does Jon
Yeah.
Snow in fact know anything?
According to the internet, he does not.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of mm,
I would highly suggest watching Waco. It's I think it's like 7 episodes, but it's like an hour long episode each. It's
mm,
based off a real story. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but it's about a cult that did
oh yeah.
exist, and for the most part, as far as I know, like they were very like a very peaceful cult, but they were like suspected of, I think, arms dealing. I think they were armed, like they were only arms dealing just to get money to support themselves, but they themselves like weren't bad people.
Right.
Um, uh, and it's just the FBI, the police force, they just really fucked it up, and like it put like an interesting perspective on how like the United States handles things.
You
Like,
just reminded me, over the summer while work was closed, we obviously still had to go into the building to make sure nothing was burning down or whatever.
yeah,
On our lunch breaks, my friend and I would watch crime documentaries,
cool.
and there's one on Netflix. Fuck me, what's it called?
There's a lot on
Uh,
Netflix.
I know there's a lot on Netflix. Hang on, let me see. I can probably
Isn't
find
it
it.
like Born a Murderer or something like that, or How to Be a Serial Killer or some shit like that, or
No, I found it.
oh,
It's called
dramatic pause.
Evil Genius.
Evil Genius. Oh yeah, I think that's been on my suggested. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so it's fucking bananas. You have to watch it. It's about this guy who walks into a bank with a bomb strapped around his neck
Nice,
to rob the bank.
as one does.
And then he insists, so then the cops obviously catch him because fuck. And then he's handcuffed, sitting on the ground, and he's insisting that it wasn't him, that he was forced to do it. He didn't want to do it. I had to do it. I didn't want to do this. Um, and then obviously like suspicion gets thrown elsewhere, but like the way that it ends up at the end is just fucked. Like I don't
Okay.
want to give anything away, but it's just like it's so like it's funny.
Oh, like the
Like it's
story
sad,
itself, or like the
obviously.
way
There's
they tell the
shit that
story?
happens. No, like the story itself is just funny.
Oh fuck.
Like the people involved. It's just funny.
Okay, I'll be sure to watch it.
Yeah. Another good one, another good documentary is the Cheer documentary on Netflix. It's about like one of the most competitive cheer schools in the States.
There's cheer
And
schools.
well, like they're a college. It's the same, like it's a lot of kids that go to this college on cheer scholarships, same way that's like pro football
Uh,
players or like football, like college
okay,
football. It's college cheer. So it's
okay,
still like a nationally ranked sport.
okay.
Um but it's competitive college cheer, and it doesn't just like the documentary itself doesn't just focus on cheer, but it does focus on cheer in the parts that you don't see. Like you know how like you see cheer on TV or on movies, and like it's cheerleaders in pretty skirts and whatever. It shows cheer as a sport.
Yeah.
Injuries, like
Well, it's definitely
um
competitive. Like I wouldn't say it's not a sport.
a lot of people think that though. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's just girls in skirts."
No,
But like they
there's
show the injuries, they show the practices, they show all the outside of practice stuff that they have to do.
yeah, like you don't have to watch cheering for very long until you at least have to like recognize the fucking athleticism involved in pulling off some of those maneuvers.
Like that shit looks like it hurts. Like, I could never. I have so much respect for those for cheerleaders.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
But it's a really good documentary because like you learn a lot about the kids too, the kids that are on the team that year. You learn a lot about them too and where they came from because a
Oh, it's
lot of them
like
came
it's
from.
not like a reenactment. It's like an actual.
No, it's an actual documentary. It follows
Oh,
these college cheerleaders and like you learn about their origin stories and stuff and where they came from and why they cheer and what cheer means to them and all that kind of stuff. And
that's
it's
cool. That's
powerful.
cool.
It's very powerful to watch these kids' stories.
Nice. Well, I feel like this
Yeah.
might be a good spot to leave the podcast at now. It was,
Well, now that you have things to watch and I have things to watch.
yeah, clearly, and everyone listening has things to watch if you haven't already.
You better watch it.
Before we let go, can you tell the people where they can find you?
I am everywhere and nowhere. My main ones are TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I'm pretty well on there at Kill 'em Defoe. Um, Same handle on Instagram. Kill 'em
Killam
underscore
Defoe.
Defoe on Instagram.
Killam_Defoe. Well, it was nice having you, Annie, and I look forward to seeing you again in 10 episodes.
Yeah, see ya in 28, buddy.
At 28. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and until next time. Bye bye.
Bye.